Hello and welcome to Raj Yoga Center's Wisdom Series. Today I have with me Brother Prakash. He has been practicing Raj Yoga meditation for 24 years now, and we will hear from him about his experiences and why meditation is important and how you can apply it in your day-to-day life. So welcome, Brother Prakash, and thank you so much for giving us this time.
Thank you.
And my first question to you is, as an individual who's maybe young, you feel, since you've been, with Raj Yoga Center for 24 years, you feel like maybe meditation is not for me. Like some young people feel that no, I'm too young for this. Like I still want to live my life. So, what would your advice be to those individuals?
Okay. I believe firstly we got to understand the benefits of meditation. And if we know that, then we'll understand why meditation is for us. Because many times we're probably holding the wrong ideas of meditation. And you're right, many believe that it's something that you do after you've completed a certain age, and that's when you want to really relax, you want to retire, then you start meditating. And I think more and more as we go through the mainstream, we are seeing that there are a lot of people today having huge amount of stress. There are certain anxieties that people are trying to deal with and finding very difficult. And this is not just happening in a certain sector of people, but it's happening across every body, whether they are youngsters, they are proper adults in corporate, or they are people who are aging. The population across is going through all these things. And what meditation does is it helps us to regulate the mind in a way where we can be more peaceful, more happy, we are more enthusiastic about what we're doing, there's more attention, there's more focus. What it really is doing is it's helping the mind to be more accessible to everything that's happening. So we are more present, we are able to use the brain in a better fashion. And so those are all the benefits. And so I'm sure once the youngsters experience it and they understand the benefits from this perspective, in terms of wherever they are in whichever field of life, it's going to really make them more better, more effective, more efficient. And I think they should be more welcoming to learning and practicing meditation.
So my next question is, why Raj Yoga meditation? There are so many different forms of meditations or different forms of yoga that many people talk about. Many people experience something in those, sanstha's as well. But why Raj Yoga meditation?
Yeah, so I think all the other meditations are also good. We should practice if they're not doing anything right now. It's important for them to consider meditation or yoga of different sorts. Why meditation, specifically Raj Yoga meditation? This is not a yoga of the body. So this is the yoga of the mind. And this is considered to be the king. Raja itself is the emperor of all meditations, which means that yoga over here is connection. So we're forging the highest connection that we could think about, and that's why it's called Raja Yoga. So what is the highest connection that I can actually forge? And when we go through the course of Raja Yoga meditation, we will understand that within each of us, or rather when we go within what we can physically see, there is this being that is very elevated, which is peaceful, pure, and powerful. And so we're connecting to that higher self. That's truly the person we are, which we have kind of lost connection with. And so the moment we're able to forge that connection, then obviously imagine the way I would speak, the way I would feel, the way I would express myself will be very different, because now I'm connected to myself in that very elevated form. Otherwise, I'm only carrying my identity based on what people are telling me or based on some of the results I get in my life. And that's always not success, right? You sometimes have successes, you have failures, you have ups and downs. And so if that's my only connection with myself in terms of my achievements or in terms of my results, then sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's down. But if I learn how to forge my connection with the core of my own being, then I'm going to stay more stable, I'm going to have more, long-term peace, happiness, and I'm going to be able to stay more confident and move knowing who I am really, and therefore I can do things in a better fashion. And so the Raja helps us to forge that connection. That's at one level. The other level of why it's the highest connection, they say, you're colored by the company you keep. And so the company we keep is, one is with the highest self, and the other one is with the supreme being itself. We consider him to be the supreme light, the powerhouse, the source of all energy. So if I'm connected with the source, then I am completely empowered, because I could get energy from different levels at different spaces. But if I'm connected with the source itself, it's like, you're connecting your mobile to the source, and then you're assured that you will have a full charge. So when I'm connected to the source, which is the highest energy ever, which is why it's the Raja Yoga, the highest connection, then I'm assured of huge, immense power.
Wow, lovely. Thank you so much for that. I want to know, see, many people who come to Raja Yoga Center and they do the 7-day or 6-day course, and following that, they start practicing, meditation on a regular basis. For them, their main concern is, how do we know that we're connected? Like, how do they get the feeling that they're connected to the Supreme? Like, how can one experience that connection for a beginner? How can one experience that connection who doesn't know what Raj Yoga is, or maybe they're just learning, they're still in the learning stage. So how do they get that conviction that, oh yeah, I am connected to the Supreme?
Yeah. For people who are starting off, there are various levels. To begin with, I feel it's important that they start sensing a relaxation. That itself is a step forward. So we are usually feeling anxious, stressed, there are a lot of disturbances in the mind. And the moment we start meditating, the first thing we start experiencing is, I feel more relaxed. And they can sense that instantly, right? So, when I'm in a state of disturbance inside, then I can feel how I'm breathing very fast, I'm palpitating, I'm sweating, and I'm not feeling very nice. I'm not available, I'm not in that particular present moment. But when I start meditating, I'll start seeing I'm becoming more present, I'm more aware of myself. My breathing is more relaxed, it's more deeper than it would usually be. Otherwise, very shallow breathing. It's more regulated. And the mind also starts becoming more and more, it frees itself from all those unnecessary thoughts to begin with, which makes it feel more peaceful, more relaxed. So instantly you start experiencing those. And I feel for beginners, that's a good start from a space where they've been very uneasy to start becoming very easy. So that's the beginning, that's a start. And I think what we do is we try and help people at one level to become more aware of themselves. And once they start doing that, then they become more aware of peace and they experience the peace. And once they do that, then the next level is to connect with the Supreme Soul. And so there's all of a sudden a huge shift in dynamics within themselves. They feel empowered greatly, largely, very assured, very stable. And so all these experiences will help them understand that they're not connected to anything normal or ordinary around, but there is a connection with the being of power, or the powerhouse. And so then they actually experience that instantly.
So it's gradual, right? That is what you mean to say.
Well,
That it
we
won't
have,
be.
yes, we got to go step by step.
Yeah, there are stages. So if anyone's watching, there are stages to meditation and to feeling that connection. I want to ask. I know you were, one of the few people who initiated a gathering of youth, many years back, and I see many youth right now, especially Gen Zs and millennials, they're very connected with themselves already. Like, they understand what triggers them, what they feel in certain situations, what emotions they need to emote, in certain situations. So how can they use Raj Yoga meditation to their advantage in practical situations? Like, already being that self-aware, like, they know that, okay, this will trigger their anxiety or this will trigger something. But again, that anxiety is there. How do they come out of that, and how do they bring it in their practical lives?
Yeah, I think that's a good thing that they are more aware of what triggers them off. And I think they probably have more awareness of the emotions that they are actually going through and why it's happening and what they can do to avoid it, as much as they have within their control. Unfortunately, there's so much that will not be in their control. There's so many outside their control. And even though they know that these are the ones that trigger off those emotions, just because those triggers are not in their control, they actually take place and then they get triggered. So I think they need to go a level deeper. And one is, you have that emotional awareness. I feel they also need to develop their spiritual awareness, because that is a foolproof way of knowing that regardless of what the triggers are, I can still be in charge of my own emotions, because it's through my own awareness of the self as a spiritual being that I'm able to develop and create those thoughts, which then become my attitude, and that's how I'm able to then face things. So I think that awareness is very important. And if they can, so at one level, they have a good awareness of the emotional stuff, but if they know themselves in a better way, then there would be a much better way for them to face these things as they move forward. And so that will be a good way.
Spiritual level has to increase.
Yes, yes. Yeah. So that identity of theirs will be very useful. Currently, their identities may not be truly who they are. It could be based on what, as I said earlier, based on what other people think, what they say, or their statuses on social media, where they stand in that pecking order. So that could be a lot of things in how they actually look at themselves.
Right.
So that will shift when they have a spiritual awareness.
Okay, interesting. But to some extent, the youth today are not so keen in coming, to other spaces. If something is available online, or if something is available at the tips of their fingers, they're ready to do that rather than coming to the actual space. So can you tell us what is the importance of, coming together with, like-minded youth and other meditators who are youth and who are professionals? How does that impact, how does that atmosphere impact their thought process and their mindset, and how can it really benefit them?
Yeah, I believe it's not bad if you have everything available at your fingertips. Then use it. That's the blessing of technology today. There are restrictions, there are limitations to it, and especially when it comes to, okay, you can see things, you can hear things, but in terms of experiencing things, the vibes that you would like to have of that particular place that you're in, or that, that the beauty of being with like-minded other youth in that place at a physical level, where you can really vibe with each other, you can just, uh, talk, catch up. A lot of things that will actually happen when you're face to face, which will be absent when you're just online watching. You're still by yourself at the end of the day. But when you come into the gathering, then you have this beautiful experience of the vibrations around. There are certain things that, that atmosphere brings, the people bring, the joy, the laughter, the cheer. But also, I think this is like an institute, right? So we call it a university when we're doing meditation here. It's a university where we're learning to become or to evolve ourselves from where we are into, our more higher selves. So it's one thing is you can sit in that university and watch it all along online, but when you have an opportunity to meet with your fellow students, you're there, and together you'll make plans, you'll sit together, you'll meditate, and so then you're creating that energy in that particular room that is phenomenally special. And many a times, we just get into that energy space and we don't have to do much work. We are already flying. And we experience that when we go to different places in this world around, right? There's so many places that have different energies. And just the moment you walk into that space of energy, it may be high, it may be low, but you can experience it immediately. And so, when you're sitting together, you're already creating that high energy. So it's very easy for us to meditate with them. We're inspired, we're motivated, we see each other. And so that's all very much possible when you do it face to face.
Nice, amazing. Thank you so much for joining us. That is our time. And please join us at Raj Yoga Center. And Brother Prakash shared his experiences. And thank you so much. Please stay tuned. We will be continuing this series further.